Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Roguespirit Reviews. I'm your host today, my name is Joe Johan, and this review is written by me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as it helps my channel out a lot. I thought to myself, now that we are a week away from Resident Evil 8 Village, which is releasing this May on the 7th of 2021. I thought, man, what better time than now to review one of the best games from the Resident Evil franchise. I was never even into playing survival horror games because, first of all, it scared the living shit out of me. And yes, even though I am a fan of horror movies, all you really have to do is just sit there and watch the movie. And if things got too scary, you could always just close and cover your eyes to get past a certain part or jump scare. However, when playing a horror genre video game, you have to think more and plan ahead as you explore creepy, desolate areas and eventually have to fight off demons and be way more involved and pay attention as you explore each nook and cranny as you try not to turn off the game and keep your head on a swivel in case a monster jumps out at you. Item managing also added to the horror and increased my stress levels. Should I run past this monster and save my bullets? Or go Rambo and just send everything to hell and then eventually hit a wall and get stuck at a certain point in the game and reload an earlier save file and try things differently? Or just press on and pray my knife gets me safely to the next checkpoint or save room? For these reasons, I stayed away from survival horror games and especially Resident Evil. Yeah, call me a scaredy cat or whatever, but I was a different kind of gamer back then and was less experienced and just stuck to my comfort zone. However, that all changed when I saw a trailer for Resident Evil 2 Remake back in 2019, and I thought to myself, damn, this looks like it's going to be a serious game with amazing graphics, and that I should give the survival horror genre another try and see if this game resonates with me. That, and I had nothing else new to play on my PS4. When the game came out, fans and critics sang nothing but praises about Resident Evil 2 Remake, and I couldn't resist to see what was so special about this game. I picked it up on the PSN store, booted it up, and never ate for 2 days straight unless it was to take a bathroom break. That's just how much I was hooked on this game. Exploring the Raccoon City police station and the sewers underneath, being totally intrigued and amazed and glued to the story and fascinated by the characters and the voice acting, finally being able to understand and appreciate the complexity of the item management system, and discovering how to combine items in order to craft a mix of healing herbs as well as combining items to craft stronger ammo, then learning how to outsmart and maneuver around the zombies and complete puzzles as Mr. X chased me relentlessly throughout the police station as if I stole and ate all his bacon and didn't leave him any pieces or something. I fell in love with Resident Evil 2 Remake and finally understood why this game got the positive worldwide feedback that it deserved. So I was curious, what other games in the Resident Evil series have I missed out on during all these years? So I took action and went onto the internet, did some research, and looked at reviews for Resident Evil games and eventually stumbled upon Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, which ditched the third-person view in favor of a first-person viewpoint, as well as discovering that this game is a soft reboot of some sorts which aimed to bring back the franchise to its early survival horror elements and ditch the cheesy tone and over-the-action gameplay in order to please hardcore older fans. I couldn't help but feel intrigued. It was all there. The exploration, the interconnected rooms, getting lost and using the map to figure out where to go next or what to do, solving puzzles, although easier in this game, struggling with trying to manage all the items in my inventory, and running back and forth to the save rooms in order to drop off items I didn't necessarily need during the heat of the moment in order to make room in my inventory for other items I would stumble across. Finding keys to unlock certain doors where a new weapon is lying in wait, exploring only to find an item I could then use to combine with my own weapons in order to upgrade my shotgun or handgun in order to cause more damage to the monsters. Being hunted and sought out after by the Baker family, which most definitely reminded me of Mr. X, chasing me around for hours from the Resident Evil 2 Remake. Yep, this definitely felt like a Resident Evil game to me. It was a Resident Evil game that I was looking forward to playing as it had many similarities to Resident Evil 2 Remake. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is the next game in line for me to challenge and conquer. Let's start with the story. The story begins as the main character you play as, named as Ethan Winters, receives a distraught message from his wife Mia, who has been missing since a couple of years, who then ends up at an eerie old creepy house located in Dalville, Louisiana, which belongs to the Baker family. Ethan then decides to explore the surrounding area, which eventually leads him inside the Baker family home. After a bit of exploring and watching a rather horrific VHS tape which shows the player the fate of those who have been unfortunate enough to stumble inside the house, Ethan eventually finds and locates Mia, who has been locked up inside a cell within a creepy basement, and then frees her from her imprisonment. Ethan has many questions for Mia and is rather confused as to what she has been up to since her disappearance many years ago. Eventually becomes separated as Mia disappears, and it's up to Ethan to chase after her. To Ethan's horrific surprise, he discovers that Mia is not looking so hot and does not appear to be normal, but rather possessed and demonic as she grabs and torments Ethan. You as a player are then tasked to help Ethan survive as Mia attacks you and are tossed into your first battle scenario, and learn the combat controls for this game through an effective and memorable tutorial boss fight against Mia herself. After this tutorial styled boss fight is when things really pick up. Jack Baker appears out of nowhere and knocks the living shit out of Ethan, thus kidnapping him and holding him hostage as his prisoner. The opening hours of this game is forever etched into my memory and a moment in my gaming career in which I will never forget. The opening dinner scene, which introduced the player to the rest of the Baker family, was intimidating and left me wondering, how the hell can I get away from these psychos? And I was on the edge of my seat with my eyes glued to the screen the whole time. Eventually you do escape and have to explore classic Resident Evil style as you solve puzzles and discover key items, which helps you open up even more doors, which lead you to discover new areas so that you can explore and search around for a way to save Mia and get the hell out of that house. And you are guided by a character named Zoe, who is the daughter of Jack Baker, who has yet to become fully possessed like her father and the rest of her family due to some odd reasons which lead into some inconsistent plot holes later on. I loved how they brought back that a demonic invincible entity of some sorts chases after you relentlessly as you explore and try to find any means to escape unscathed. After exploring and picking up items and weapons which give you more of a fighting chance against the Baker family and the main monsters of this game, which are called the Molded, you eventually are notified by Zoe that there is a way to develop a cure to heal and get rid of the curse which has infected Mia and the Baker family themselves, and is the only way to restore everyone and everything back to normal, to the way the things were before things got out of hand. Now going back to the Molded for a quick sec, I just want to review as well as share my opinion and overall expression I have on these Molded Black Shark Tooth enemies in the game, which are scary, but eventually the scare factor caused by them does indeed go down as you basically become accustomed to fighting only 3 variant types of Molded during the whole game, especially as you gain more weapons and buff them up, causing them to be a cakewalk, and you can even predict their moves and dodge out of the way and run past them if you want. Hell, you can even slam doors in front of their faces and laugh at them, and they can't even open the door in order to continue pursuing you, which is a downfall but does not hurt the overall experience, as the Baker family are interesting to deal with and overcome. And there are some frightening moments in the game which involve the Molded enemies, especially if it's your first playthrough, so not a big issue. And I am glad that the developers seem to be solving this issue for its sequel in Resident Evil 8 Village. Anyways, to sum up the rest of the plot would be to spoil the whole game, which I believe, as any other Resident Evil game, it is best to go into this game blind on your first playthrough in order to have that immersive experience which really draws you into the game and its world and makes your very first playthrough so memorable. Well, let's move on to the gameplay. Like all of the other Resident Evil games, including Resident Evil 2 Remake, managing your items while exploring each area as thoroughly as possible in order to collect other items which will help you fight off the Molded, while trying to decide whether it is best to avoid the confrontation and run past the enemy, or if I should sneak by it and risk getting hit and using any healing item in order to save and hold on to my precious ammo for that upcoming boss fight that I might need. Should I aim for that headshot and hope to get lucky with the critical hit, even if it means wasting some ammo in order to do so? That's all part of the fun and challenge of this game. It makes each encounter with the monster fun and fresh, for the most part. It is pivotal to think and plan ahead of the journey if you want to make it through all the way to the end of the story campaign as a true hardened battle warrior survivor. The first person perspective really adds to the gameplay, as aiming each weapon in this view really assists with the accuracy of your aiming. The sound of each round and shot firing from your choice of weapon looks and sounds great and realistic. The gunplay feels amazing, and you get amazing weapons such as a flamethrower, grenade launcher, and my personal favorite, the shotgun. Especially the upgraded double barrel shotgun, which fires less rounds of ammo, but damn does it ever pack a punch and blows off the heads of your foes with relentless ease. One of my other favorite weapons are the remote bombs, which you can set up, and once enemies approach it, you can then manually detonate the remote bomb to dissipate all your foes and finish the job if need be with just the push of a button. Bang! A new feature thanks to the first perspective viewpoint is also the ability to block incoming attacks so that you take less damage and can counter right away or run away to better position yourself, recalibrate your aim, and pop off until heads explode. Also, the way how Ethan walks and sprints in this game feels great, as it feels like it has some realistic weight to it. It's not too fast but not too slow, and you can even hear him breathing, which is a neat touch. I know it sounds weird, but it is a small touch which immerses you even more into this game world, as well as in the role of being Ethan Winters. And also helps make more room so that you can pick up other items. Is crucial if you want to survive some of the tougher encounters with enemies or boss fights in this game. This game makes it easy, as you can just press R1 on the item inventory menu and be taken to a combined feature screen which shows you what items you will get from combining these two other items together, thus never forcing you out of the action for too long, which in turn makes the pacing of this game feel much faster and less tedious at times. There are some secrets to find as well during the game, such as trying to find all of the antique coins for permanent upgrades, such as boosting your max health and reload speed, as well as unlocking the Albert 01 handgun. There are also Mr. Everywhere statuettes, which when you find and break all 20 of them will reward you with awesome bonuses for a new playthrough on harder difficulties or to assess you with speedrunning this game. The first person perspective really immerses you into the shoes of Ethan Winters and makes you feel more connected in a way to the main protagonist, as it feels like you're witnessing firsthand what Ethan himself is seeing through his set of lens and really puts you into his shoes. Let's now talk about the boss fights, because woo boy, are they fun and grand, and I love participating in each of the boss fights. The very first encounter with the possessed Mia was a highlight and set the tone for how scary and fun the rest of the boss fights will be in this game. When I found out that Mia wasn't even the strongest and witnessed the overwhelming power of Jack Baker as he kidnaps us, I was excited to see how certain events would turn out during the next boss fights. Jack Baker literally tries to run you over with the car and is invincible, as her ammo does not even work on him. There are multiple ways to beat him, one easier than the other, but most definitely had my heart rate soaring. Margaret was creepy and weird and can summon insects to attack you, which are annoying to deal with. She is actually my favorite boss to go up against, and her section is the best part of the game for me. She was creepy as hell, crawling up walls, trying to look for you and hunt down, popping out of nowhere to grab and attack you with their long creepy arms. Her creepy character design kept my eyes wide open as I tried to calmly aim at her and hope that the boss fight would end soon. It was a long but memorable boss fight. I'll give you guys a hint. Make sure to find the grenade launcher and use it on her to make the fight go by way faster. Now, one downfall I have to talk about are the puzzles in this game. They're not really challenging and don't require you to think much. It's very easy, just rotating object until the shadow lines with the painting. I mean, it was way too easy. They should have definitely made the puzzles a bit harder, but all in all, it's not that bad. It's not a big gripe. So yeah, in conclusion, the gameplay is really immersive, amazing, gory, and brutal, and feels fantastic. The atmosphere is really enhanced thanks to this new perspective, as most areas are dark and gloomy, and the developers even use simple creepy sounds to scare you, such as hearing the floors and walls creak, to add a sense of dread as to mess with your head and intimidate the player. Exploring is super fun, and looking at the map and trying to figure out where you should go next and what area you haven't fully explored yet and how to get to that area is super fun. I really do appreciate the Metroidvania style of level design that Capcom was going for here. The soundtrack is spooky as well and can make your adrenaline skyrocket and add some grace to your beard during certain set pieces and enemy encounters. Another thing to note are the graphics, which, damn, they are beautiful. Seriously, sometimes I was like, is this even a PlayStation 4 game? Because the graphics look like real life, especially at the start of the game with the intro. Long are gone the days when Capcom was using photorealistic backgrounds, which still held up and looked good till this day, but damn, they really outdid themselves here. The graphics are great in this game. Another thing I want to quickly mention is the DLC in this game. The DLC in this game, the content that they provide you with is a lot. You have the banned footage where you can basically get a taste of what the Baker family was like before they were possessed and trying to kill you and hunt you down. And then you got Not a Hero where you play as Chris Redfield and basically have to get rid of all the molded that were left behind. And then you got End of Zoe, where you basically get to play as Jack's brother Joe Baker, and damn, he uses his damn fists. He does not play around. Yeah, no, he just beats the shit out of the mold. He's like, nah, I don't even need a gun. I'll beat you guys up with my damn fist. Damn, that's hardcore. And you also get the spears, which you can throw at alligators, and that's one thing. I wish that they added, sections in the main game where you have to kind of creep around alligators and dodge them, and that would have been kind of cool. But yeah, so the DLC is great, and I'm just scratching the surface. There's way more DLC in this game, but I'll let you guys figure that out for yourselves. It's all fun, so make sure you do it. It's an amazing experience.
I don't understand. You see that girl back there? Look, that there my brother's little girl. My niece, you understand? And around here, family is a righteous cause.
Overall, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is a great time. The gameplay and the weapons, the combat, and amazing boss fights mixed with its atmosphere and spooky moments while exploring each area trying to find all of the antique coins and Mr. Everywhere statues and managing all my items and combining them to create ammo and health items really immersed me in this game. And if you own a PlayStation 5 and have a PSN account, then you have no excuse as the game is part of the PlayStation Plus collection, so it is definitely worth the investment as long as you can afford a PlayStation Plus membership. I am glad that Capcom decided to bring back the survival horror gameplay from the older games from this franchise and gave it a modern tweak. It's not my personal favorite, but it is in the top 5 for sure. I am so excited for Resident Evil 8 Village, and to compare it to this game, I can't wait to experience how Capcom will evolve the gameplay from Resident Evil 7 to make Village an even better experience. We're only 1 week away, and you guys can expect for sure that I'm going to review that game. I'm glad that I got to experience this game, and I am eager to revisit the other Resident Evil games very soon in the near future as well. I am giving Resident Evil 7 a rating of 8 out of 10. Well, that's all for today, my rogue spirits. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe as it helps my channel out a lot. Expect more game reviews in the near future. Right now I'm working on Pokemon Snap and Nier Replicant, so you guys can look forward to that. I'm gonna be taking my time on those videos as I kind of just want to experience the game and fully complete the game so that I can review the game properly and not feel regret. So yeah, thanks guys for tuning in, and remember, stay rogue my spirits, until the next Rogue Spirit Reviews episode. Thanks guys, everyone have a great day, and take care. And don't forget to hit the bell notification button, so when I drop a new video game review, then you guys are aware.